I am a hot take factory. I love to be contrarian.
Welcome back to the Middle of Culture. I am one of your hosts, Peter.
And I am your other host, Eden.
Eden, how are you? We talked a little bit before, but you hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there. I'm making it happen. We're figuring it out. How about you?
About the same. Staying busy, getting ready for our upcoming trip, which, I've realized will be my longest flight that I've ever done.
Oh, how long is the flight?
It's pretty long. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been on that many long flights. My longest flight
That's fair.
to date really was when I was going to Guatemala, or maybe, I think Guatemala. But
Have you been to Hawaii?
yeah, that's probably longer.
That's a pretty long flight.
It doesn't feel that long. Maybe it's 6 hours.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, then hell, yeah. Crossing the Atlantic is a heck of a lot longer than that. That's like 10 or 12. At least it was when I was flying to England.
Yeah. Again, all I know is it will be longer than any flight I have been on before.
Nice.
But, getting ready for that, looking at getting a few things set up for our trip over there. Do the touristy crap. We're doing a tour that's a one whole day where it basically goes to Windsor Castle and then out to Stonehenge and then comes back and ends up at like Oxford. So it's supposed to be most of the day, like 11 and a half hours, I think is what it said. So,
whoa, that's a lot.
We've got enough days. We can spend one day doing that, I figure. But set up a couple other things like a Thames River cruise and do a little 30-minute loop on the London Eye and crap like that. So
Nice.
I figure.
Yeah, like you said, you gotta do those touristy things because you don't get to do those very often.
It's true, like I say.
Especially if it's a place you're only gonna go maybe one time ever. Like the first time I went to New York City, you had to do the touristy stuff. And now, once you're like old hat, then you're like, no, I'm not doing any of those touristy things. But those first couple times, you got to do touristy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thought is I would like to probably go back at some time, but who knows what's going to happen. And so this is, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to
Make it count.
Enjoy the stuff. And I've been considering, it's a little too late now, but I will not lie. I very seriously considered getting Listen I matching t-shirts. That said, trust us, we hate him even more than you do.
I bet you could still get those. Surely
could.
You've got a local place that can make t-shirts for you.
We could. I'm just not much of
We
a
got like
t-shirt
3
guy,
in this town alone.
Yeah, I've definitely been thinking about that though. But whatever. Well,
Yeah, that's fair.
What you been checking out lately?
Let's see. What have I been checking out? Let's start with music. A couple of episodes ago, I mentioned that Le Sserafim had a new album out.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good still. Been listening to that. But guess who else had a new album come out? aespa had a new album come out. It's a full length. It's not a it's not an EP. It's an LP. It's called Lemonade. It's very, very good. It's very fun. It has some real bangers on it. And then perhaps most exciting of not as exciting as Le Sserafim, but more exciting than aespa, ITZY had a new EP drop like a day ago, 2 days ago. It's great. It's called Motto, and I have been listening to it a lot. The thing that's fun about the new ITZY album is the first 3 tracks are like group songs, and then the last 5 tracks, each of the girls in ITZY, it's a solo track. So that's really fun because they can each kind of shine, and like you can really see what are the strengths of each of these individual singers, what is the kind of music they're interested in making when they're making their own music. A couple of them have done some solo EPs, but most of them have not. And so it's really fun to just let each of them shine in that way at the last half of this EP.
Nice.
So I've been having a very fun time listening to that yesterday and today.
I have to just say, you're naming these bands, and in my ignorance, you're just kind of making sounds.
Listen, that's what it feels like when you're naming them. You know, I got into a newish K-pop band the other day. Their name is IZNA, IZNA.
Okay.
And then I got into there's another one I've been listening to recently called Meow, but spelled MEOVV.
Okay.
But they're Meow.
Sure.
So, you know, they're nonsensical names. It's just kind of how K-pop is. Again, if you had told me a year ago, Eden, you're going to fall down a K-pop hole, I wouldn't believe you. And yet we watched that goddamn K-pop Demon Hunters movie. And then I was like, should I listen to some other K-pop? This is your fault. You picked that.
It's true. I did.
And I've been in a K-hole, but not that kind of K-hole, a different kind of K-hole. This is not ketamine. This is K-pop.
You know, I will own, I'll own that one, because you're right. It was my fault. I did suggest it.
And I appreciate it. I've been having a lot of fun getting into it this year.
Good.
It's something light. It's something fun. Voluminous production.
Oh, yeah.
These people put out a whole lot of music.
You know, I mean, it's always exciting when you find something you like and there's lots to listen to.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. And some of it is very, very good. Most of it's just pretty good, but some of it is very, very good. But I've been having a lot of fun with those two new releases. In terms of reading stuff, I have continued to chip away. I think I've mentioned it here. I've continued to chip away at Long-Awaited Feelings. Did I mention Long-Awaited Feelings before?
I don't recall.
Maybe not. It is a web novel that I've been reading. It's finished. It's all translated, so I have an EPUB. But it's one of those things where it's just very long.
Okay.
Because on my Books Palma, the average ebook that I read, I keep the font fairly small. It was shocking when I was at book club the other day. I pulled out my e-reader and showed people what size font I read, and everybody was apparently befuddled that I would read so small. And I was like, listen, I'm not old yet. I'm not that old
You're
yet.
like, my eyes can handle it.
My eyes can handle it. But anyway, the average book is like between 250 to 600 pages. You know how it dynamically changes the page thing on the bottom? That's, a fairly long one is going to end up being 550, 600.
Okay.
Most books that I read are in the 200 to 400 range. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And again, that translates to, for example, an Apothecary Diaries is going to be between about 250 to 300 pages on the books. And that's about how many pages they have in hard copy.
Okay.
So, you could do some math there. Long-Awaited Feelings has 1,900 pages.
Holy mother, that's a lot.
It's really long, but it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, especially for being a fan-translated thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a professional translation, but it is about this woman who dies, and then her ex is super torn up at her death. And then she basically goes back in time and is alive again and is like, I got to get her back because I thought she was over me, but clearly she's not over me. And I was so sad that I died. Now I've got a chance to make things right. But it really goes into the entertainment industry and what does it mean to be a movie star? What are the things that are expected of you when you are on a reality TV show? What do you do? What is it like to have a team of people that you are directing to be like, oh, you need to go on social media and you need to do this and you need to contact this group over here, and all of the machinations of oh, how do we minimize these things that these malign actors are trying to do to our image while promoting the things we want to do and also trying to get back together with my ex. It's quite good. I'm liking it quite a bit. It's very light reading. It goes down real smooth, but it's very long.
Yeah.
I'm 500 pages deep in it, which again would have been a book or two, basically anything else I've been reading.
There you go.
But I'm enjoying it. I'm also very deep into a very long comic. I finished today the 4th volume of How Do We Relationship. I don't know if I've talked about that here either.
Doesn't sound familiar.
So I've read the first 8 or 9 volumes of it before, but it wrapped up recently. Volume 14, which is the last volume, got published a couple of months ago. So I am rereading it all in anticipation of reading the back third or so. And it remains what I felt about it back when I read the first 8 or 9 volumes. Easily the best romance comic I've ever read.
Cool.
It's very, very good. And I think a lot of what makes it so good is how real and true the characters feel. It doesn't feel like an idealized depiction of romance so often, especially in a romance story, it's like the pursuit is the motor, and then once they're together, that's kind of the climax of the thing,
Sure.
you know? So it's about like, how do these people get together and then they get their happily ever after or whatever. That's not the way How Do We relationship is built. The main couple got together in chapter 2.
Okay.
And they broke up in chapter 4. They broke up. Psycho dumped Miwa because she realized Miwa wasn't in love with her the way she was in love with the girl she was still hung up on. So she dumped her. And now they're like friends, but like it's in a weird situation because they still are in a band together and they're still seeing each other at school all the time. And they have all these shared friends. So they're being friends. They're like, oh, it's cool. We're over it. It's cool. But they both still have these simmering like feelings. On Psycho's part, it is she's still in love with Miwa. And on Miwa's part, she feels bad about how things broke down and that she never liked Psycho as much as Psycho liked her. It's really, really good.
Nice.
It's very, very, just tightly constructed. It's gorgeous to look at. It's one of the best comics I've ever read, and easily, like I say, the best romance comic I think I've ever read.
Awesome.
I finished Power Wash Simulator 2.
Oh, very good.
It was a lot of cleaning, but I got it all cleaned, baby.
Excellent.
I got that temple cleaned. Yeah, it was fun. It's a good game. I'm excited in a couple of weeks for the Star Wars expansion to come out. I will absolutely be buying that so that I can power wash an at because who doesn't want to power wash an at? I do.
That does sound pretty good. That sounds pretty good.
I passed on the Adventure Time one because I was like, I don't need Adventure Time. But Star Wars, it's still got its hooks in me, and I'm going to buy that. But for now, I've taken a break from that. And then I was like looking for other games about cleaning.
Okay.
To be like, I had a good time with it. I don't necessarily want to go back to regular Power Wash Simulator 1. I've played it enough. I want to try some different stuff. And then there was something that was advertised on Steam. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, what's that? And then I clicked through and I was like, mistakes. You can't buy this. I can't find the name of it right now. Basically, it's a porn game.
Oh.
That you also clean things in. Because there's a gigantic woman. It's Attack of the 50-foot woman, but you're spraying her with a water gun to clean her off. And I was like, I want another cleaning game. I don't need a porn one, guys. I'm good. Thanks, no thanks.
You're like, that's not what I was looking for.
No, it wasn't. So I played Lottle Knots, which is a game I had started a year or two ago and played it for an hour or two. But I went and it's another, you're under the ocean on this planet and you're basically cleaning up after an ecological disaster.
Okay.
And it was quite good. I had a good time with it.
Good to know. It's one of those that is in my Steam library from, I'm sure, a Humble Bundle.
It's very quick. I played the whole thing in 5 hours.
Okay.
So it was like a fairly quick, fairly discreet experience. It's very cute, has very fun pixel graphics. You find these things called lottles that look like little axolotls and you feed them and then they evolve and you can build little biomes and all that kind of stuff on top of doing all the cleaning. It was pretty fun. And then the last thing I will mention, as I have continued playing Wuthering Waves, it's very important to know this patch is the Cyberpunk crossover.
I saw that I think it was being advertised in the App Store.
Well, Cyberpunk is here. I went to Night City as my Wuthering Waves characters. And it's apparently a sequel, a denouement to the TV show that I have not gotten to yet, but I hear is very good. And I'm even more tempted to watch Edge Runners now because I really did enjoy the story
Cool.
in this. And I know that this is basically, it takes place after the end of the series and builds on the story of what happens in the series. So I'm really tempted to watch that now. But it was very fun. I had a very fun time with it. And that's kind of what I've been up to. What have you been up to?
Nice. Just a few things. For me, I'll start with games. I went back to Diablo 4 and finished the Lord of Hatred campaign with the Warlock. Got to the end, enjoyed it, had a good time. I've been starting now to go in and, I've reached my level 70 and I'm getting Paragon levels. And so I'm kind of going through that a little bit. I did a little bit earlier today. Not a ton, but Diablo 4 is fun. And I liked the Warlock class. I mean, come on, killing demons by summoning your own demons. That's just a good time.
That's pretty satisfying.
I am thinking, I'm going to play with the Warlock a little bit more, and then I'll go back and I'll start a Paladin and see what the Paladin's like in Diablo 4. I really enjoyed the Paladin in Diablo 3. The Paladin had a lot of cool things and abilities. So I want to see how Paladin is in Diablo 4 and check that out.
I do have Diablo 4 now, thanks to the Humble Bundle, but I have not booted it up at all.
I think it's fun. It's Diablo. It's more Diablo. It feels a little slower than Diablo 3. So when I've gone back and played Diablo 3, I'm like, oh, this is fast. But I've also gotten a lot of gear that has made my character move a lot faster. And so that has sped up a little bit. But I like Diablo 4. I've enjoyed it. Again, I'm never going to be one of those people who's min-maxing and doing all this, because I don't want to play a single game that long to, farm for all of the specific sets of gear for this one particular build and all that stuff. I'm not worried about getting to, who knows, torment level 85 or whatever the crap it goes to. I really don't, it doesn't go that high, but they got a little crazy with the torment levels in Diablo 3 and Diablo 4, where it's like, it's not, normal, hard, whatever, torment. It's just like this, and then torment, and torment. It just keeps going. Anyway. But yeah, I've been enjoying that. I do have, before you
go on, I have one question about Diablo 4. And this will basically decide, should I play it in the next week or two, or should I play it sometime in the distant future?
Okay.
Is the Demon Hunter there?
No.
Can I play as the Demon Hunter?
No.
Well, then I'm good. I'm by Diablo 4. That's the only class from Diablo 3 I liked.
The Demon Hunter was fun. I did enjoy the Demon Hunter.
I just liked having dual pistols, basically, and just firing two Uzis everywhere you were going. That was great.
That one was great. And then I loved when you coupled that with popping up the turrets.
That too. The Demon Hunter was really good. Yeah. And if they had that, I would absolutely go play Diablo 4 tonight.
I will say,
but since they don't,
I played the Rogue and went through the Rogue way back when Diablo 4 first came out and really enjoyed the Rogue. It would be your closest option to the Demon Hunter, but it is not the same.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll think about it.
So I have almost finished. I'm about 82% of the way through, I think was what my Kindle tells me. Anji Kills a King. It's a debut novel from book talker Evan Lycum. I'm enjoying it, but I don't like Anji. At least thus far, there has been very little character growth. She is whiny. She is impetuous. She is self-obsessed. You get little hints as to why that is the case, but I still don't really like her. The world has hints of a very interesting world, but it's been very judicious at meting out little bits of what's happening in the world. Again, I'm 80-something% through, and I still have very little idea of what's going on other than corruption at the top, oppression at the bottom.
Sure.
So I'm enjoying it. I think I'm trying to remember. I know he is working. I want to say there's a second book that is either out or is soon to come out, and I think he is writing a third. I'll see how it wraps up before I decide if I'm going to go to book number 2. I've enjoyed it, but not as much as I wanted. Go ahead.
I do think it's tricky to do a prickly, unlikable protagonist. It's absolutely possible, but there's a level of juice you have to bring to it that I think is hard for most authors. I think especially for a first-time author, that's going to be a little tricky to make a really like kind of unlikable, prickly protag and pull it off.
Yeah, and it's tough because like I want to like the character, but she keeps giving me reasons to not like her. So, you know.
Interesting.
And then some music I want to mention. Chemis, Denver-based doom band, released their self-titled album. I think it's their 5th full length. It's good. I really like Chemis. I think their second album, Hunted, probably one of the best, certainly doom metal albums in the last 20 plus years. It's awesome. Since then, they haven't been quite as strong, but Chemis brings some things that I really like. They've got really good crunchy guitars and do nice things with kind of the dual guitar harmonies. I really like the vocals and the vocal harmonies. There's still some bits here and there of harsh vocals and stuff, but I really like it. It is unmistakably Chemis. I haven't given it a ton of time to really say where it stacks up in maybe the last 3 of their albums, but I do enjoy it. In the Shadow of Your Shadow, the new single from Cult of Luna from the upcoming album that's coming out in November. It's real good.
You can't drop a song in June for an album in November, guys.
No, they can. And it's good.
That's rude.
It's good. And
that's rude.
I would say that, Johannes Persson, I don't know if he's getting older or if it's just other stuff he's done, but these are some, like, there's just a little extra grit to his vocals, and it's good. It's good. I may have set up with my Hermes agent. I have the pre-orders for the physical versions of this go on sale next Wednesday, because I will be in clinic and it's often easy for me to forget and not log on until the best vinyl variants are out. I have a cron drop that's going to kick off at 8 a.m. and every 15 minutes it's going to look at the Red Creek page, and as soon as it sees that the pre-orders are up, it is going to send me a link to go ahead and hop in and get something. So I'm excited about that one. And then another single from an upcoming album, Light Pollution, from the upcoming album Solaris by the band The Ocean. Yes, Solaris, inspired by the movies that we have watched. I love The Ocean. And I was a little nervous because after Holocene, they sort of said, this era of the band has reached an end. And so The Ocean is really interesting. They started out as The Ocean Collective, and it was this big group of kind of rotating people. And the first few albums had a number of different musicians, with Robin Staps being the key member. He was the key writer, the guitarist. Then it was, and I don't remember which came first, whether it was, I think Heliocentric came first before Anthropocentric, but when those 2 albums came out, they had recruited Loic Rossetti. He was the vocalist, and it really kind of created this many albums stable group up through Holocene. Yeah. And then I think the band was down to Robin Staps and maybe 1 or 2 other people left. And they've brought the band, they've kind of got some other people in. They now have 2 vocalists. They got a dude, they got a female. They're both very good. There are still some hints of Loic Rossetti's style in the guy, but it doesn't sound exactly the same. And Light Pollution is a banger of a track that really, again, when there's this big of a change, I will fully admit I was a little nervous. And all it took was 1 listen to Light Pollution for me to go, oh no, The Ocean is still one of the most interesting bands in metal right now. And so I'm super pumped for the new album.
For sure. Cool.
But yeah, I think that's about it for what I've been checking out. Shall we move on to our main topic?
Let's do
it. Okay, so our main topic for the day, I'm getting ready to head out. Eden's got a lot going on. You've got an upcoming work conference and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't want to give us too much homework because just sometimes it's nice to have a non-homework episode. So
It's true.
I threw together a list of questions for us to maybe share some hot takes. This is just going to be a bunch of rapid fire questions, and just, throw out your answer and give us a brief explanation. We're not going to do a time here, and we'll see how many of these we get through. And then at some point, if we decide we've done enough, we'll stop. But we've got kind of some movies, TV, music, books, games, general stuff, and a few other things that we're going to see how it goes.
And I think it's important to note, I am a hot take factory. I love to be contrarian.
Oh, and I
love to be contrarian.
I am fully aware of this, and that is one of the reasons I thought this would be fun to do.
Just yesterday at the comic book shop, we were talking about like superhero movies or something. And this guy, we didn't know this guy. He wasn't a regular. Like, I don't know if he was from out of town or if he was coming in for the first time. He sat there and he said to me and Jackson at the counter, it's not like anyone would defend the Schumacher Batman movies. Dog, you are talking to the two wrongest people to talk to that about, because let me tell you what, at Daydreams Comics in Iowa City, we like our Batman gay and funny, so the Schumacher movies are great.
There you go.
I'll defend Batman and Robin. I think it's the second best Batman movie. I think it's great.
Okay.
George Clooney is a bad Batman, and he's very funny, and he's got nipples on the bat suit, and he taps his heels together, and ice skates come out of his boots. He's got the Bat credit card. It's great. It's a great movie.
Okay.
So
yeah,
again, hot takes. I'm a hot take. Another hot take yesterday. I was telling people that I think Saving Private Ryan is a bad movie, because we were talking about Spielberg movies, because Spielberg's got a new movie out, and I said, yeah, he makes good movies, and then he also makes bad movies, like Saving Private Ryan, and every dad in the comic book shop looked at me like I was a crazy person, and I was like, listen, it's a bad movie. I don't know what to tell you. It's not a good one.
Okay. Well, let's hit some hot takes. I figured you wouldn't disappoint. And we're going to start with the question that actually from whence this idea to do this episode came. And that was, I listened to a podcast where their entire 30-minute episode was the three hosts discussing. Tell us, Eden, what is the correct Star Wars watch order?
Release.
Okay.
Release.
Okay.
No question.
So 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
Yes. And no, it's 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Rogue One.
Okay. Rogue One. All right.
Here's the thing. I've heard the arguments for the machete viewing order. It's dumb. Don't do the machete viewing order. Watch 4, 5, and 6. Take some time. Watch 1, 2, and 3. Take some time. These are different movies. They were created in different cultural, socio-political, and technological milieu, and it's important to situate them in that space.
Okay.
And if you just run through the whole series super fast, or if you try to mix them up or do it chronological, I think it's going to feel jarring. I think going from Revenge of the Sith to Star Wars is going to feel bad.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think you should watch 4, and then 5, and then 6. And then, if you would like, you can watch Rogue One, and you should say, fuck the prequels and double fuck the sequels.
Here I was waiting for you to say, I think you should watch 4, 5, 6, and the 2 Ewok movies.
They're bad. They're so bad. I loved them as a kid. They're so bad.
I have not revisited them. I have them on DVD. I have not revisited them. I keep threatening to do a double feature with my friends, because most of them have never seen them. And I'm like, they're bad.
Yeah.
And also, it is super incoherent that the first one is like Swiss Family Robinson, and then at the start of the second one, they kill that whole fucking family except for the girl.
It's harsh.
They just murder all of the characters from the first film. It's great.
Yeah. No, that, like I say, I heard this and they started arguing, and they asked the question. I thought to myself, I would watch the original trilogy, and Rogue One, good movie. You can watch Rogue One if you want, but it's not necessary. But I really, really hate the sequels. And I think that I can safely say I hate the prequels. I still haven't watched any more of Andor than we watched for this podcast, even though I recognize that it was very well made and I liked what we watched. But I have such a mental block against anything Star Wars related, and it is not the sequel's fault. It is the prequel's fault, and it is George Lucas for taking a big old fat dirty dookie all over my nostalgia for those, because The Phantom Menace is a bad movie. Attack of the Clones is a bad movie. And I think that everybody who defends Revenge of the Sith needs to get their heads on straight, because that movie sucks.
No, it's good, but it also sucks.
I hate it so much. All right. So question number 2, which movie franchise should be barred from ever making another entry?
Which movie franchise?
Yep.
Just wide?
Yep. Just which movie franchise do we need to not ever have any more entries in?
That's a good question. I don't know. Star Wars, probably.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
We should never make another Star Wars movie. But that feels trite because we just talked about Star Wars for 3 minutes. All of them. We're done. No more franchises.
See, I'm going to aim real low. And say, you know what? They should just stop. Fast and Furious. We're done. We don't need any more. We don't need any more.
That's the only one I want to finish.
No, we don't need any more.
You don't even watch those movies. You don't know how 10 ended. 10 ended on a cliffhanger.
Let us just imagine what happens next. We don't need to see it.
God, I want to see it though. Okay. Those movies are bad.
They are,
but I love them.
I have thoroughly enjoyed every single one I've ever watched, but I would be perfectly okay never watching another one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Best Pixar movie.
Best Pixar movie. That's a hard question for not the reason that you think that I'm saying that, dear listener. I don't like Pixar movies. Best Pixar movie is Ratatouille.
Okay.
Yours is The Incredibles.
It's The Incredibles. I love The Incredibles. I absolutely love The Incredibles. Okay, so.
Yeah, I think they're overrated. I feel the same. Here's the thing. I feel the same way about Studio Ghibli. When everyone's like sickos mode for Studio Ghibli, I'm like, watch some good movies, guys. They're fine. They're fine. They're not the best movies ever made. And that's how I feel about Pixar too. And especially the ones that I feel like are the most like universally acclaimed are the ones that piss me off the most. Like WALL-E is good for the first half, and then they get on that spaceship and I'm like, oh, ableism and fat phobia. Go fuck yourself, John Lasseter. That movie sucks. WALL-E sucks as soon as they go to space. It's great on the planet. I don't care for The Incredibles very much. I understand that it is a good superhero movie, but I don't like a lot of the stuff that comes along with it.
Sure.
I think there's too many Toy Story movies. I don't like them.
Yeah. And
I haven't seen most of the newer ones. I haven't seen the sequel to the Feelings one, Inside Out. Is that what the Feelings
Inside Out too. I haven't seen.
Didn't see that.
Didn't
see Turning Red.
Here's what happens.
I haven't seen that stuff.
I was a Pixar sicko when it was like, these are the best movies to take my kids to because I will enjoy it and my children will. And now that my youngest child is almost 17, I haven't seen a Pixar movie in a long time. I have never seen Toy Story 4 and Toy Story 5 is coming out. I'm totally uninterested. Maybe that should have been which movie franchise should be barred from making more movies. No more Toy Story, please. Thank you very much.
There you go.
All right. What is the correct maximum runtime for a movie?
The correct maximum runtime for a movie is 90 minutes.
Okay. I will go to 120, but max out at 120.
I guess. But good God, when you boot up a movie and it says 87 minutes, you're like, oh,
so exciting.
Yes.
It's true.
I love when a movie clocks in under 90. That's a perfect length. Anything longer than 90, my attention's gonna go.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're too long.
They are.
I talked last time how we watched The Batman again, and that movie's too freaking long. I like it, but 3 hours is an hour and a half too long. For a superhero movie.
We've talked about how I have still refused to watch it because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, you should watch it, but break it up over a day or two. It's real good.
Or, maybe I'll just throw it on my iPad and I'll watch it on my 8-hour flight to London from Minneapolis.
That's a great idea. Oh, that's a perfect time to watch it.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're trapped.
It's true. I am. Here's one that I don't know how I'm going to answer this, but I'm going to throw out there. Which masterpiece of a movie is actually really boring?
Most of them.
Yep, that's kind of my thing. Because, like, that's the problem is any masterpiece I've seen just didn't stick with me because, and I don't want to watch any of them.
Here's the thing. Sometimes it's true. Like, everyone's like, oh, Citizen Kane's the best movie ever made. And unfortunately, they are kind of right. Like, that one's real good. And it's because it was a bunch of guys who'd never made a movie before. So they didn't know what rules they had to follow in terms of things like framing shots and composition and timing and all of the rules about making a movie in the 50s. They could ignore them because they didn't know them. And that's part of what makes Citizen Kane such a banger. But I feel like that is kind of the exception that proves the rule. I feel like most of the so-called masterpieces are not quite as good as their reputation would lead one to believe.
Okay.
Godfather 1 is better than Godfather 2.
Okay. Well, speaking of sequels, name a sequel that's better than the original.
Not Godfather 2.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm taking, this is the kind of movies I watch. Captain America Winter Soldier, better than Captain America First Avenger.
No, it's not.
Yep, it is.
No, it's not. Captain America the First Avenger is the best MCU movie.
Captain America the First Avenger is boring.
No, it's not.
It's
Tommy
boring.
Lee Jones is there, and he's an old general, and it's great.
I
love that movie.
Boring.
The best sequel to another movie is, God, now I don't know. I'm usually a first movie sicko. You know what it is? It's The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. There you go.
Okay.
To bring it back to the Fast and the Furious, that's the Fast and Furious 3, the one that's not about Dom Toretto. That's the good one.
Okay. All right. Let's do some TV. Which beloved TV show should have ended at least 2 seasons earlier?
Most of them.
I agree.
Like every comedy that ever got more than 2 seasons should have ended at 2 or 3 seasons. Everyone. That's true of The Office. It's true of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's true of Parks and Rec. It's true of Cheers. It's true of Golden Girls. It's absolutely true of Arrested Development. Everything you can name, you should have cut the back half of it off.
You know which one should have ended way more than 2 seasons earlier? The Simpsons.
Huh. Yeah, I've never really watched The Simpsons. This is a thing that blows people's mind when you say, I think I've seen 3 episodes of The Simpsons ever in my life. But that is true. I think I've seen 3 episodes from beginning to end. I've seen clips online. I watched the movie with a friend back in the aughts. I had no context for it. And I was like, I mean, this is fine. It's okay.
I watch very little of The
Simpsons
Simpsons. And especially in the last, 10 years, I haven't been interested because it's just, whatever. All right. Best series finale.
Best series finale. Oh boy. I feel like there are some real contenders. I feel like Babylon 5 is a real contender. I feel like MASH is a real contender.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I feel like, those are kind of it for me. Those are the 2 biggies.
Okay.
What about you?
This goes to how little TV I actually watch. I agree with you that Brooklyn Nine-Nine overstayed its welcome, but I think that the final episode is a really, really good one. I think they do a really good job of kind of wrapping things up. I don't know. What about worst? Give us a worst series finale.
The worst series finale. That's a good question. A lot of them are bad. I feel like it's hard to hit a landing. It's hard to do an ending.
I think it is.
That's not true. I was going to say almost every Star Trek. I was going to say every Star Trek series, but that's not true because All Good Things, the 2-parter series finale for Next Generation, is the best episodes of Next Generation that ever existed. But most Star Trek series finales are quite bad. But they're not the worst. I don't know what the worst one is though. That's not. You know what the most batshit one is?
What's that?
Battlestar Galactica.
Now, which one? The newer or the old one?
The new one. I haven't watched the old one all the way through. I watched it a couple of times,
shouldn't.
and I was like, wow, this feels like Mormonism, and that's for a reason.
What it, yes.
and it's not very good, so I never finished it. But I did watch all of the aughts version, and boy, does that go to some bad places in the last season or two, and has the most incomprehensible final episode that you'll ever watch.
Okay. I think that the Seinfeld finale is hot trash.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Yeah, but then again, I also hate Seinfeld.
I'm not a big Seinfeld person.
I
don't hate it, but I don't like it.
I really, really dislike it.
I don't like it very much.
Let's see. Oh, reality TV. Defend one show.
F-Boy Island is fun to watch.
Okay.
Have we talked about F-Boy Island?
No.
Oh, God. Cassie and I watched a couple of seasons of F-Boy Island together, and the premise of F-Boy Island is buck wild, because the idea is you have, at least in the season that I remember most vividly, you got 3 girls, and they're there to find love. You got 24 guys.
Okay.
12 of those guys are nice guys who are there to find love. 12 of those guys, Peter, they're fuckboys.
Hence the name.
12 of those guys are fuckboys. So all of these guys are trying to get with these girls, because whoever ends up at the end, whoever is coupled up with the woman, that couple gets $100,000 to start their love relationship together.
Okay.
Or if you are a fuckboy, you can say, sorry, babe, I'm taking the $100,000 for myself.
Okay.
So you, as the fuckboy, have a real incentive to ingratiate yourself and act as if you are a nice guy, because you want her to be convinced that you are there for the right reasons, and not because you want $100K, but you want $100K. It's very funny. The other funny conceit about that show is, as men are voted off at the end of each episode, they send men away. Sure. If they are nice guys, they go to a very, very nice villa, and they just get to hang out for the rest of the filming, and just they get all the food they want. It's this beautiful villa overlooking the sea and also overlooking the beach. And on the beach is where the fuckboys go. They are in a literal prison camp on the beach. As punishment for being fuckboys, they have to live in the sun on the beach in a fenced-in area. And so there are scenes of the nice guys in the villa drinking margaritas and looking down on the fuckboys in their prison cell. It's very funny.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I'll defend, because it's fun as hell to watch.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, so here's a question. Does Taskmaster count?
Taskmaster counts, I guess. Yeah, it's a reality show, sort of.
That's kind of what I thought.
A reality competition.
But if we think about other things, I would say I actually never. So I've never really watched very much, but the few times I remember seeing episodes of The Amazing Race, I thought this is an interesting. It's kind of a cool conceit. So I'll go. Yeah. I'll go Amazing Race.
That's a good one.
Is adult animation doing more interesting work than prestige live action drama right now?
No.
Okay.
Adult animation. Tell me more about adult animation. There's one good adult animation show. It's called Bob's Burgers.
See, that's the thing, is I couldn't find much, but it was, I've had this thought bouncing around. Is animation more interesting in some ways? But I agree with you. I don't think right now there's that much of it. I don't think it's nearly as strong as it could be.
Yeah. I think we're in kind of a nadir for prestige television too. Mm-hmm. I think everybody tried too hard to capture first it was Mad Men, and there was that first wave with Sopranos, and then it became Mad Men, and then it became Game of Thrones. And now everything wants to be Game of Thrones. That's not prestige. That's garbage. Yeah. It's garbage. It's very expensive garbage. People seem to like it, but it's not like they're not doing anything interesting. It's just like violent, salacious fantasy shit. I don't care. Yep. I don't care.
Okay. Let's do some music. What is a, quote, classic album that you'd be okay to never listen to again?
The entire Beatles discography.
So in my head, I was going to say anything by the Beatles. I think we're on the same page there.
I know for a fact that I like the Beatles more than you like the Beatles, but I'm fine. I don't ever need to listen to the Beatles again. I've listened to them enough.
Yeah. Okay. Best decade for music.
Best. Ooh, it depends on what music.
Okay, pick a genre.
I mean, if you're talking jazz, or we're talking like the 70s probably.
Okay.
If we're talking rock, we're probably talking the 80s.
Okay.
If we're talking pop, we're probably also talking the 80s.
Yeah.
If we're talking alt rock, we're talking the 90s.
Yep.
If we're talking indie rock, we're talking the aughts. If we're talking K-pop, we're talking right now, baby.
So for me, obviously metal would be the thing. And I don't know. I would say maybe 2010s. Like, it's hard.
I feel like the 2010s is a good time for metal.
I think
I don't know if it's the best time for metal, but it's a real good time.
I think it is. I think it was. It's tough because, I don't know. The 90s, little grim there. There were a few standouts, but overall not great. And then we started to get back in the early 2000s and the aughts, but I think it was the 2010s. I think that was where metal really started to kind of get back its stride and really start branching out and saying, oh, there's a lot of really interesting things we can do within the metal genre. And I think that's kind of carrying forward to today, but I think that's what I would do. So name a band that broke up or called it quits too late.
Too late?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Dream Theater. Because they should have put out 3 albums.
Yeah.
3 ever. They should have been done after Awake.
I agree. Their first 3, because that's about all I can go back and listen to. There's moments on some after that, but if I'm going to listen to a full Dream Theater album, it has to be one of those first 3. And
it's really not even the first one. It's really just 2 or 3.
and honestly, I have not listened to a Dream Theater album
anyway.
in well over a decade.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it anyway. Let's see. Who are folks who are actually broken up, though? I feel like Dream Theater just sort of counts because they've cycled out like 8/10 of the band. I don't know. Who's broken up?
I don't know. See, that's my problem is I can think of bands that I'm like, they should break up, but I'm having a hard time thinking of bands.
They should break up. You know who should have been done a long time ago? Opeth.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't like their new music. I have 15 years of all misses, no hits. Guys.
Have you listened to Last Will and Testament, their most recent album?
No.
I know a lot of people are like, oh.
The last 2 were so bad.
Oh, I've heard so many people who are like, oh, Opeth is back, Last Will and Testament. And I couldn't be interested. Okay, we're going to keep moving on again. Let's see. Ooh, greatest live album ever recorded. I think I know what.
Greatest.
I mean, I have an inkling of what I think you're going to say, but you could fool me.
Greatest live album ever recorded. I don't know. What are you going to say?
Well, so greatest is a bad word.
Greatest is a hard thing to decide
because and the problem is the music is so subjective. So I think greatest is maybe a bad word. Here's what I'll say. I think gun to head, I would say Exit Stage Left by Rush.
That's their best one.
And they have a lot of live albums, but that is
too many. I would argue too many.
Oh, I would agree.
Back in the day, I was like, 4 studio albums and then a live album. That's good. And then it was a studio album and 2 live albums. And I'm like, no, guys, I'm done. Yeah. I'm not here for this anymore.
Yeah. A couple other really good ones. And this is just, again, this is what I listened to. Lamb of God's live album, Philadelphia, is very good. And while I struggle a little bit because John Schaefer is a right-wing nutjob piece of shit, Iced Earth's 3-disc Alive in Athens is also very, very good.
Here's my choice. This is going to be a little out of left field, but I'm going to do it anyway. It is the Bang on a Can recording of Terry Riley's In-C.
Okay.
That particular recording. Because the thing about In-C is that everybody who records it slightly differently because it is modular music in that way. It's neoclassical. You're supposed to build it as you're playing. And that particular recording, the Bang on a Can recording, I think is the finest version of In-C I've ever heard.
Okay. Albums front to back or playlists?
Albums.
Agree.
That's one of my biggest complaints about getting into K-pop is so often it's singles. And I'm like, no, put out a whole album, please.
Yeah. I'll throw on playlists at work when I'm coming in and out of my office throughout the course of a day,
Sure.
mostly just so that I have, I've got 8 hours worth of music playing. But even then, my playlists are made up of whole albums.
Yeah, I do have, the only time that I really use a playlist is I have a playlist called K-pop Brain Rot, and it is every single K-pop song that I have. So it's like 16 hours long, 17 hours long. And sometimes you just open it up and hit shuffle.
There you go. All right, let's do a little bit of book stuff. Do audiobooks count as reading?
That's a good question. Go listen to that episode. I can't remember what episode I talked about it with someone on Devotees about. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think?
I lean towards yes, but I recognize that they're different.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, because the problem is there's contradictory research. Because they've done academic research on this, and some of the studies seem to say it's fundamentally different than listening to a radio program or things like that because it's engaging the same parts of your brain that reading engages.
Sure.
Like when they do like brain scans. But then there's other research that's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And so the problem is both of these have fairly small sample sizes.
Yeah.
So you would need to do a much larger study. And I don't think anyone cares enough to want to pay for that study. So we don't have a good answer for that because some researchers say it absolutely is reading because it's engaging all of the same parts of your brain as reading, text does. And then there are, other researchers who say, no, it doesn't. It does the same thing that radio programs do or that like audio dramas do. And it's not bad. It's not engaging with the work. I do think it's very important to get that out there. And I think that you would agree with me. It's not engaging.
Correct.
You're absolutely as engaged in the work as if you were reading it.
Yeah. For example,
but is it reading?
For example, for me, listening to a podcast is a very different activity than listening to an audiobook.
Agreed. I have to pay a lot more attention to a book.
Yeah.
A podcast floats over me a lot more than when I'm listening to a book.
Yep.
And, the other joke that in that episode of Devotees where I talked about it with a friend, it was like, well, so is Braille not reading? Or is Braille the only kind of reading? That was what my friend jokingly said. They were like, no, reading with your eyes at all, that's not reading. You have to read with your fingers. That's the only actual kind of reading. And I was like, that really does show the absurdity of trying to define these things.
True.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that's totally fair. So another one, e-readers versus physical book.
I like them both for different reasons.
Yeah. Sometimes I like a physical book, but the simple truth of the matter is I don't have the space to own all the books I want to own.
I mean, that's a big part of it for me. And I think at this point in my life, I have chosen physical comics, e-texts for prose, basically, is how it's broken down. Like there are some exceptions to that. But, in terms of purchasing physical books over the past year, I would say it's probably 95% comics and 5 to 10% prose, simply because the form factor is different and doesn't matter as much when it comes to reading prose. Like I can open my e-reader, I can change the font size, I can change what font it uses if there are certain fonts that make it easier for me to read. All these sorts of things don't take away or really change my relationship with the story being told in the text. But I hate reading a comic on a screen.
Okay.
I like to read a comic on paper.
Sure.
And that's just true of me. I prefer reading a comic on paper. And so that's where I kind of draw the line. If it's prose, I'm going to read it in an ebook. If it's a comic, I need to read it on paper.
Okay.
How about you? Just too many books?
Yeah. It's like there are sometimes I still really like to have a physical book, but most of the time the convenience of the e-reader, honestly, the fact that it is lighter to hold, that it is more portable, that I can read it in whatever kind of light, because if it's bright, great. E-reader's great. If it's dark, since almost all of them now are side lit, great. I can still read it. So as much as I love physical books, and sometimes I definitely still want the physical book, I probably would say 9 times out of 10, I would rather have the ebook. I'd rather buy an ebook.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little long, so let's do a few more. Let's do some games, and then we're going to wrap it up. Favorite game of all
Sounds
time?
good.
One answer.
Favorite game of all time?
Yep. Here, I'll tell you mine while you're thinking.
God.
For me, we all know it's Mass Effect 2. And because I'm making myself pick one game, that's why I'm going with 2.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay, I think 1 is a more interesting game and a more interesting story, but the gameplay, they tightened it up so much into that to go back and play, 1 is a little bit of a chore, 2 is a lot of fun. And I really do like all of the, I really enjoy the assembling the crew and doing all their loyalty missions and getting to know them and stuff. So for me, Mass Effect 2.
Greatest of all time.
No, favorite. I didn't want to go greatest. I'm going favorite because greatest is, again, greatest is a bad word when it comes to things that are so subjective.
It is. I think my answer is still going to be the same. I think it's Doom.
Okay.
I think it's Doom because we've talked about it at length on this podcast before. You can play it forever. There's literally new WADs coming out every single day. Nothing plays the way that Doom plays. Nothing feels that fluid or that fast or that fun.
Okay. Very good. Favorite console generation?
Console generation? Probably whatever one the 360 is in.
Yeah, I was going to say for me, it's the Xbox 360. That would have been Xbox 360.
6?
I don't know what number it was, but that was 360 and PS3. So
360, PS3, and then sort of the GameCube, sort of the Wii, but I don't care about Nintendo stuff because I don't really play Nintendo games.
Same here.
The 360 is absolutely the console that I've gotten the most mileage out of.
Me too.
Because there were so many bangers on that bad boy.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I played all those Mass Effect games.
Yep.
I played Dragon Age 2. I played all of them. I played 3 Bethesda games on it.
Yep.
No, I played Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3. I played Viva Pinata. Like, there's so many good games on the Xbox 360. I played Sneak King.
Heck yeah. Those Burger King ones. I mean, for me too. Then throwing in, it was getting together Halo 3. Playing Halo 3 until 3 o'clock in the morning with, 15, 16 people in a house together. It was Gears of War, playing Gears of War online. Again, 4 of us, 4v4 online with 4 of us all in the same house. And so when somebody died, we'd just start cruising across the map and telling everybody else where everything was. I loved the 360 generation. Open world versus more linear story.
Oh, God, I think it depends. I think that I like an open world game, but many of them are too long. And so that is when I have the space in my heart for 100-hour open world game, I'm really happy for it. I'm really happy about it. I'm very excited to play it. But sometimes I want a nice, streamlined, focused experience.
Yep. I can really enjoy a big open world game, but I would say almost always, I would rather have a 20-hour linear tight story than 100 plus hours of an open world game almost every time.
I mean, that's almost always true for me too. Like, there are some open world games I have had a lot of fun with. I do like them when they are 20 to 30 hours instead of 100. That's great. But yeah, no, I like a focused experience. I'm not one of those people that's like, well, I spent $70 on this game. It's got to go for an hour, 150 hours. Because number one, I'm not spending $70 on a game. I learned my lesson by spending full price on Final Fantasy 16, and I will not be doing that again because that game sucks ass, and I spent $70 on it.
That's rough.
So I'm not buying $70 games. First off, the ROI on that is not important to me. And more importantly, the old, the joke meme of Sonic the Hedgehog saying, I want shorter games with worse graphics made by people who get paid more, and I'm not kidding, is true of me.
Yeah.
It's just true.
Okay. I think here we go. This is our final hot take.
Okay.
Name a video game franchise that peaked early and never recovered.
Peaked early.
I'll tell you mine because again, I had the unfair advantage of I saw all of these because I made them.
because you made the
I made
list.
the list. So here's mine. Age of Empires. Age of Empires 2, the best. 3, 4, 5.
That's so good.
3, 4, 5. It's just, they're still
They've
decent.
made a fifth
Oh, yeah.
Age of Empires?
Oh, yeah.
What?
And they've made them more complex, and there's all this hub city and all this kind of stuff. And none of them even come close to the joy of playing Age of Empires 2.
Okay. I have 2 answers.
Okay.
One's kind of a shitpost answer, but it's true anyway.
I love it.
My non-shitpost answer is Dragon Age 2 is the best of the Dragon Age games. Sorry, Inquisition, and especially sorry, Veilguard. Dragon Age 2 is the best one. So does that count as peaking early if it's the second game and not the first one? I don't know, but I'm going with it. My shitpost answer, however, is Alpha Centauri is better than every other Civilization game, and it came out in between Civilizations 2 and 3.
100%.
That's the best Civilization game, Alpha Centauri.
Yep. And I need to recant. For some reason, because they've been cranking out so many just barfid expansions for the different Age of Empires. There is only 4. It's just there's so much bullshit that has come out that it felt like there was a 5th game. So
yeah, that's fair.
Clarifying. No, I agree. Alpha Centauri. Here's the thing. I picked up a used copy of Alpha Centauri back when you could buy used video games on CDs. It had the whole big manual. I played the shit out of that game and thought to myself, wow, this is so great. I'm going to get into Civilization. I'm going to be a Civilization sicko. And
nope.
I, as being the sucker I am, I bought Civ 3, and then I bought Civ 4, and I bought Civ 5, and I bought Civ 6.
Yep.
And I bought Civ 7. 7?
You bought Civ 7. Okay, now I was with you till then, but after 5 and 6 were so bad, you shouldn't have bought 7.
I told you, I'm a sucker. I'm a chump.
Yeah.
And none,
disposable income's a motherfucker.
It's true. And not a single one of these games holds a candle to Alpha Centauri.
No, Alpha Centauri is better than all of them put together.
It is. It's true.
And then they tried to do it again with Civilization Beyond Earth, and it does not have the juice.
No,
it is not.
No.
It is not got the juice. It's worse than a Civilization game.
Yep. So.
What a disappointment.
Okay. Well, those were some hot takes. We'll wrap it up here because we've hit it out. We made it. We did the thing. So we'll be back in again. A proper episode's probably going to be 4 weeks because, I'm going to be in England. I may drop something. I may not. We'll see.
Pip, pip, cheerio.
Either way. Oh, yes. Anyway, we'll be back for sure with a legitimate, real episode in 4 weeks. And again, I may try and drop something real short. We'll just see how my time in England goes because I really don't know what it's going to be like. But until then,
we'll see.
Talk to everybody later. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye, folks.